Okay, so get ready to dive deep. We're cracking the code on how successful people think.
Yeah, no more leaving it to chance, right?
Right. We've got John C. Maxwell's book, How Successful People Think, ready to go.
Our notes excerpts, think of it like we're mining for those pure gold nuggets of wisdom.
Exactly. And, it's not all about luck or some secret talent.
Nope. Maxwell breaks down success into 11 distinct thinking skills.
11. Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're talking big picture thinking, focused thinking. He even gets into questioning those popular ideas.
Those ones everyone just seems to follow blindly.
Exactly. It's like a whole mental toolkit for getting ahead. The best part, Maxwell believes anyone can learn this stuff.
That's so empowering. Okay, so what's the foundation? Why is thinking so important for success?
Maxwell says it's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It all comes down to how they think.
It's more than just positive thinking, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is about a deliberate approach to challenges, a way of thinking that can actually change your outcomes.
You mean like concrete results?
Exactly. More revenue, better problem solving, even opening up doors you didn't know existed.
Okay, I'm sold. How do we get this mental upgrade?
Well, Maxwell lays out a 4-step process.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
First, you got to be mindful of the input you're feeding your mind.
Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out, right?
He uses this analogy of priming the pump. If you're only taking in junk information, you can't expect brilliant ideas to come out.
I love that. And you know what? It's something we're already doing, right?
Exactly. You're curating your reading list, listening to this deep dive. That's priming the pump with quality stuff.
Love it. Okay, so step 1, check. What's next?
Step 2 is all about your crew, the people you surround yourself with.
The iron sharpens iron concept.
That's the one. If everyone around you is just okay with the status quo, it's tough to break free.
It's like you get pulled down.
Exactly. But surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, push you to think differently. That's how you level up.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right, step 3.
This one's a game changer. We need to choose to think good thoughts.
Wait, so thinking isn't just something that happens to us.
Maxwell says no. It's a discipline, something we can control.
So we're not just reacting to our thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. We can actually be in the driver's seat. He even talks about Dan Cathy, the president of Chick-fil-A.
Wow, talk about a busy guy.
Right. But he actually schedules thinking time into his week, his month, even his year.
If he prioritizes thinking time, it's got to be important.
No doubt. Okay, ready for the final step.
Bring it on.
Turn those good thoughts into action.
Don't let those ideas go to waste.
Right. Like having a Ferrari and leaving it in the garage. What's the point?
So act on those thoughts. Make them a reality.
There's a quote by Eddie Rickenbacker, a World War I pilot. I can give you a 6-word formula for success. Think things through, then follow through.
6 words, that's it. Okay, I'm convinced good thinking is essential for success. So let's crack open Maxwell's toolkit and explore those 11 thinking skills.
Sounds good to me.
Let's start with big picture. Thinking, I bet you're already doing this without even realizing it.
Probably. It's not about knowing every little detail right. It's more about being comfortable with ambiguity.
So you don't need to have everything perfectly figured out.
Right. It's more about being able to juggle a lot of ideas at once, seeing the connections others might miss.
So if you can zoom out and see the whole forest instead of getting stuck in one tree, that's a good sign.
Definitely. Now, think about a challenge you're facing right now.
Something that's got me feeling stuck.
Yeah, exactly. How might stepping back and looking at the bigger picture help you see a new solution or opportunity?
That's a good question.
It's like stepping back from the canvas to see the whole painting instead of just one brushstroke.
I like that.
And it's not a one-time thing either. Maxwell suggests thinking about your learning opportunities for the day every morning.
Learning opportunities.
Yeah, like where are you most likely to encounter a new idea or perspective in your planned activities?
Ooh, I like that. So big picture thinking is about seeing the whole picture, but also about continuously expanding what that picture is.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've got the wide angle view. Now let's zoom in a bit. What about focused thinking?
Yeah, we got to hone in on our goals, right?
Yeah.
It takes real discipline.
Especially with all the distractions these days.
Totally. Maxwell compares focused thinking to a golfer aiming for a specific target.
If your mind is all over the place, you're going to shank it.
Exactly. You'll miss the shot every time. It's about being intentional with your time and energy.
Prioritizing the important stuff, not just filling your day with busy work.
Right. Focus on your strengths, the tasks that bring the highest return. Create dedicated time and space for focused thinking.
Even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Even 15 minutes can make a difference. And protect that time fiercely. No phone, no distractions, just pure focus.
It's like creating a mental sanctuary.
Love that image.
Maxwell also suggests using that focus time to question your progress.
Yeah, like, are you actually moving closer to your goals? It's a built-in accountability check.
So focused thinking isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart.
Exactly. Make sure your efforts are moving the needle and be willing to adjust if they're not.
Okay, we've got the big picture, we're focused. Now bring on the fun stuff. Let's talk creative thinking.
All right, let's get those creative juices flowing.
I love this part because Maxwell says creative thinkers are the ones who make those surprising connections.
The ones who see those aha moments everyone else misses.
Yes. It's about those unexpected leaps of inspiration.
Here's the key. You can't be afraid to be wrong. You have to be comfortable with experimenting, even looking a little silly sometimes.
So embrace those failed experiments.
Exactly, because even those can lead to valuable insights.
It's like a road trip. You might have a destination in mind.
But it's those unexpected detours that make the journey memorable.
And maybe even lead to a better destination.
Right. So how do we nurture those creative sparks? It's not enough to just have a good idea.
You need to create the right environment for it to thrive.
Think of it like a garden. You need fertile soil, sunlight, the right nutrients for those plants to flourish.
So what are those nutrients for creative thinking?
Surrounding yourself with other creative people, seeking inspiration from unexpected sources, and being willing to invest the time and energy to develop those ideas.
Makes sense. And remember, creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to flex those creative muscles, experiment, make mistakes, and have fun with it.
Now, to balance out all that creative energy, we need a healthy dose of realistic thinking.
Time to bring things back down to earth.
Isn't there a risk of stifling creativity if we're too focused on reality, though?
That's what Maxwell thought at first.
Oh, really?
But he realized that realistic thinking actually enhances creativity.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
It's like building a castle. You can dream up the most amazing structure.
But you need a solid foundation for it to stand.
Exactly. So it's not about being pessimistic. It's about understanding the world as it is, not as we wish it to be.
So we can dream big, but we also need a solid plan.
Absolutely. Hope is not a strategy. Do your homework. Acknowledge the potential obstacles, have contingency plans in place.
He even suggests thinking through worst-case scenarios.
Yeah, not because you expect them to happen, but so you're prepared if they do.
Like having an insurance policy for your plans.
Exactly. It's about minimizing surprises and maximizing your control. Plus, realistic thinking gives you credibility.
People trust leaders who are prepared.
That's right. So it's not about being a downer. It's about being prepared, informed, and realistic.
Realistic thinking might not be the most glamorous skill, but it's definitely essential.
Absolutely. Be honest with yourself, do your homework, and develop plans that account for both the positive and the negative.
I'm starting to see how all these thinking skills fit together.
They build upon each other.
All right, are you ready for some strategic thinking?
Hit me with it.
Maxwell opens this chapter with a quote that's kind of a wake-up call. He says, "People spend more time planning their vacations than their lives."
Oh, that's so true.
It hurts a little bit, but it's true.
It's easy to just react to life instead of being proactive about shaping our future.
And that's where strategic thinking comes in.
Exactly. It's about thinking ahead, anticipating challenges, having a roadmap to achieve those big goals.
Maxwell is a big believer in planning. He blocks out his calendar weeks in advance time for thinking, working, meeting with people, even having fun.
And it pays off.
Definitely. But it doesn't have to be super complicated, right?
Not at all. Just create a weekly schedule, break down those big projects into smaller steps. Even just setting aside 30 minutes each morning to plan your day can make a huge difference.
It's about moving from reaction to intentional design.
I love that. Intentional design for your life.
One thing that's really cool about strategic thinking is it forces you to ask the right questions.
Oh yeah, questions are powerful.
Maxwell highlights some really good ones from a book called Master Planning.
Fill us in.
They're all about clarifying your direction, your resources, and how you'll measure success.
Those are key questions to ask yourself.
They can be like a laser beam cutting through all the fog and helping you see your path forward.
It's like having a strategic analysis toolkit.
Once you have a solid plan, though, you need the right people to help you execute it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Maxwell actually has an equation for this. He says, wrong person plus wrong place plus wrong plan equals grief instead of growth.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have the right team, it's not going to work.
Makes sense.
So strategic thinking is about being proactive, planning ahead, and surrounding yourself with the right people.
And like all these thinking skills, it's an ongoing process.
Got to keep evaluating, adjusting, and celebrating those wins along the way.
Exactly. Even small steps taken consistently can lead to big progress over time.
So true. All right, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but there's still so much more to explore in Maxwell's world of successful thinking.
There is. All right, ready to shift gears a bit.
Yeah, hit me.
Let's talk about possibility thinking.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
Maxwell starts this chapter with a quote, "It always makes me smile.
What is it?
Nothing is so embarrassing as watching someone do something that you said could not be done."
Ouch, yeah. It's like never underestimate the power of belief, right?
Exactly. Possibility thinkers are the ones who defy the odds
They achieve those seemingly impossible things.
because they refuse to accept limitations,
They see solutions instead of problems.
And that kind of optimism can be contagious too.
Oh, I like that.
It's not just about boosting your own potential, it's about inspiring those around you.
So it has a ripple effect.
Absolutely. Possibility thinking creates opportunities, draws people in.
It lifts all boats, as they say.
Exactly. But what if you're not naturally a super optimistic person?
Yeah, that's me.
Maxwell himself admits to being a bit cynical by nature, actually.
He does.
Yeah. But he chooses to think positively because he's seen how it unlocks potential.
So it's a conscious decision, a skill you can develop.
Exactly. It starts with being aware of your self-talk.
Those negative thoughts that can creep in.
Right. This will never work. I'm not good enough. You got to challenge those thoughts.
Replace them with something more positive.
Exactly. Ask yourself, what's right about this situation? Or how can I make this work?
Reframing the problem.
Exactly. And surround yourself with positive people too.
Feed your mind with inspiration.
Yes. Connect with people who believe in you and your vision. And don't be afraid to dream big.
Maxwell actually says aim one size bigger than what feels comfortable.
It's so easy to get stuck in our comfort zones.
Limit our own potential.
Exactly. Possibility thinking is about breaking free from those constraints and embracing a future full of possibilities.
It's like approaching life with a sense of wonder.
Knowing that even the most challenging situations can hold hidden opportunities.
Love it. Okay, from that wide open world of possibilities, let's shift to something Maxwell calls reflective thinking.
Okay, time for some introspection.
He compares it to a crock pot for the mind, which I find hilarious but kind of brilliant.
It is. Just like a crock pot slowly simmers ingredients to create a flavorful dish, reflective thinking allows your mind to process experiences.
Extract those valuable lessons.
Yeah, it's about understanding the why behind your actions.
Instead of just rushing to the next thing.
Right, you have to hit pause and absorb those lessons.
I like that.
Maxwell shares this story. He asks his kids 2 questions after every vacation.
What are they?
What did you like best? And what did you learn?
Simple but effective.
Right? We can all benefit from asking ourselves those questions, no matter what the experience.
Whether it's work, a tough conversation, or just a regular day.
Exactly. Reflective thinking helps us gain perspective and avoid making the same mistakes over and over again.
So we can make better decisions in the future.
And I think it helps with emotional regulation, too.
Oh, how sweet.
Well, if you're in the habit of reflecting on your experiences, you're less likely to just react impulsively.
You're more in control.
Yes. Reflective thinking brings emotional intelligence into the mix.
I like that.
It gives you that space to process your feelings and respond thoughtfully.
It seems like it could also boost your confidence in decision-making.
Absolutely. When you've taken the time to reflect on past decisions and their outcomes, you're building a mental database of knowledge.
So you can draw on that experience in the future.
Exactly. It's like having a cheat sheet for life, but one you've created yourself.
I love that.
And as you connect the dots between those experiences, you start to see patterns and trends, which helps you make more informed decisions about your future.
That makes sense.
Maxwell also points out that reflection can turn a good experience into a truly valuable experience.
It's not enough to just have the experience. You got to learn from it.
Right. He quotes Mark Twain, who said, "We should be careful to get out of an experience all the wisdom that is in it, not like the cat that sits down on a hot stove lid. She will never sit down on a hot stove lid again, and that as well. But also she will never sit down on a cold one anymore."
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's funny, but it's so true.
We got to learn from both our mistakes and our successes.
Exactly. But how do we actually create space for reflective thinking? It's so easy to put off.
It is.
Maxwell suggests scheduling it in. Treat it like any other important meeting or appointment.
Put it on the calendar.
Exactly. Find a quiet place where you can focus, even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
What about journaling?
Journaling is a great tool for reflection. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process them more effectively.
It helps you see those patterns.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask for feedback from others, too.
Get an outside perspective.
Sometimes they can see things that you might miss on your own.
Okay, so reflective thinking, it's like hitting the pause button for your mind, giving yourself that space to process and learn.
Love it.
All right, let's move on to a topic that's especially relevant in today's world. Questioning popular thinking.
Ooh. Yeah, this one's important.
Maxwell kind of weaves this throughout the whole book, but it deserves its own spotlight.
Absolutely. He argues that popular thinking is often just lazy thinking.
It's about going with the flow.
Following the crowd, accepting the status quo, not bothering to think critically.
He even says that prioritizing popularity over good thinking can seriously limit your potential.
And in today's world, with so much information and opinions flying around,
It's easy to just get swept away.
right. But that's how you miss those breakthrough ideas.
Those innovations that challenge the norm.
We need to develop our critical thinking skills, question those assumptions, and be willing to think differently.
Okay, I'm with you. So why is it so important to question popular thinking?
Well, for one thing, it might not even be thinking at all. It could just be blind acceptance, following trends without understanding the why.
Like those stock market tips everyone suddenly starts talking about.
Exactly. By the time it's popular, it's probably too late to jump on board.
You've already missed the boat.
Right. And another reason to question popular thinking is that it can be resistant to change,
It loves the status quo.
even when it's no longer working.
We need to be willing to shake things up, look for new solutions, embrace innovation.
Exactly. And remember, popular thinking often avoids hard work and tough choices,
It's about taking the easy path.
which often leads to mediocrity,
So we gotta be willing to embrace the discomfort of thinking differently
going against the grain, having the courage to stand out from the crowd.
and appreciate thinking that's different from our own.
Yes. Surround yourself with people who challenge your perspectives.
People who have different experiences and backgrounds.
That's how you expand your own thinking and come up with truly innovative solutions.
Maxwell's final point on this is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's a good one.
Questioning popular thinking, challenging the status quo, it often means stepping outside your comfort zone.
But that's where the growth happens.
Now let's flip the script and talk about shared thinking.
Ooh, yeah, collaboration is key.
Maxwell opens this chapter with a quote that nails it. None of us is as smart as all of us.
Love that. It's a reminder that working together can unlock a level of intelligence and creativity that we could never achieve alone.
It's like two heads are better than one, but on a much bigger scale.
Exactly. When we bring together diverse perspectives and experiences, we create this synergy.
It amplifies our collective intelligence.
It's like each person brings a different piece of the puzzle, and when we put those pieces together, we get a much clearer picture.
And it helps us move faster.
Definitely. We need to leverage the collective wisdom of our teams to keep up in today's fast-paced world.
Shared thinking also helps us break out of our own mental silos.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're exposed to ideas we might never have considered on our own.
It challenges our assumptions, broadens our horizons.
We can tap into a much wider range of expertise.
After all, no one person can be an expert in everything.
Maxwell makes the point that shared thinking is simply stronger than solo thinking.
Oh, I like that.
Think of it like a rope. A single strand can easily be broken, but multiple strands woven together are much stronger.
That's a great analogy.
So that collective strength translates into better solutions, more innovative ideas.
A higher level of overall performance.
And Maxwell goes even further.
He does.
He says shared thinking is the only way to have truly great thinking.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
He believes every great idea is built on a foundation of multiple good ideas.
Like each one adds a new layer of depth and insight.
It's like brainstorming, but on steroids.
But it's not just about throwing out random ideas.
Right. It's about creating an environment where those ideas can be shared, challenged, and refined.
Okay, so shared thinking is awesome.
But how do we actually create that kind of culture?
Maxwell suggests starting by simply valuing the ideas of others.
Be open to different perspectives.
Right. Listen to what others have to say.
Be genuinely curious about their insights.
It's about shifting from a mindset of competition to cooperation.
Recognizing that everyone on the team has something valuable to contribute.
That we're all in this together mentality.
And choosing the right people for your team is key too, right?
Absolutely. You need people who are skilled, knowledgeable and natural collaborators,
They have to be eager to share their ideas,
and value the input of others.
committed to the success of the whole team.
Exactly. And once you have the right people, you need to create that safe and supportive environment where they feel comfortable sharing.
Even those crazy ideas.
Right. That's where leadership comes in.
Creating that open communication, encouraging dialogue.
Celebrating both individual and collective successes. It's about making everyone feel valued, respected, and empowered.
Okay, shared thinking, powerful stuff. All right, are you ready to dive into unselfish thinking?
Let's do it. This one might seem a bit unexpected in a book about success.
How so?
Well, it's not your typical me-first approach.
More like win-win thinking.
Yes. But on a much deeper level, Maxwell argues that when you focus on adding value to others, success naturally follows.
It's like flipping the script on that whole dog-eat-dog world mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True success isn't just about personal gain. It's about making a positive impact on the world.
It's about leaving the world a better place than you found it.
Exactly. He even shares a story about Alfred Nobel, the guy who invented dynamite.
Talk about a legacy that could have gone in a very different direction.
Right. So Nobel, he reads his own obituary, which basically paints him as this, like, merchant of death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's horrified. He's like, wait a minute, this isn't how I want to be remembered.
Makes sense.
So he uses his fortune to establish the Nobel Prizes, celebrating achievements that benefit all of humanity.
That's incredible. What a turnaround.
Talk about unselfish thinking, changing the world.
Definitely. But how does this translate to, like, everyday life?
Well, Maxwell outlines several benefits.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, it shifts your focus.
Instead of constantly thinking about ourselves.
Exactly. You start considering the needs of others.
Yeah.
It's about developing that mindset of abundance.
Believing there's enough success to go around.
Right. It's not a zero-sum game.
It's like when you're so focused on grabbing your own slice of pie, you miss the opportunity to bake a bigger pie for everyone.
Such a great analogy. And when you genuinely want others to succeed, you create that positive ripple effect.
Everyone benefits.
Including yourself.
Maxwell has this great quote about success. It's from an old magazine article.
Oh, yeah.
It says, "He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has enjoyed the trust of pure women, the respect of intelligent men, and the love of little children."
That's beautiful.
Goes on to talk about a life of meaning,
Yeah.
one that leaves the world better than you found it.
It's not about the stuff you accumulate. It's about the impact you make.
Okay, so unselfish thinking helps us make a positive impact. It broadens our perspective.
But Maxwell also says it actually multiplies your opportunities.
How so?
Well, think about it. People are drawn to generosity, kindness, that genuine care for others.
They want to work with those people, support them.
Exactly. It's like your vibe attracts your tribe.
I love that saying.
When you radiate that unselfish energy, it opens doors.
Opportunities you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Right. And it elevates your thinking too.
How so?
When you shift your focus from yourself to others, you start seeing the world through different lenses, considering a wider range of possibilities.
You're not limited by your own perspective.
Right. And all of this leads to creating a legacy, a lasting impact.
That makes sense.
It's about making a difference that matters, inspiring others to follow your lead.
Okay, that's powerful. But where do we start? How do we actually cultivate this unselfish way of thinking?
Maxwell suggests starting small.
Like what?
Volunteering your time, mentoring a colleague.
Just be more mindful of the people around us.
Exactly. It's those everyday acts of kindness that add up,
They make a bigger difference than we realize.
And sometimes the most meaningful acts are those done quietly, without any expectation of recognition.
Just the pure joy of giving.
Exactly. Making a difference without needing anything in return.
That's beautiful. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, exploring all 11 of those thinking skills that John C. Maxwell outlines and how successful people think.
We have. From big picture thinking to focused thinking, creative thinking, realistic thinking, strategic thinking, possibility thinking, reflective thinking, questioning popular thinking, shared thinking, unselfish thinking, and of course, bottom line thinking.
Phew. It's been quite a journey.
It has. And remember, these skills aren't just for CEOs or entrepreneurs.
They apply to everyone.
Whether you're a student, parent, artist, athlete, anyone can benefit from these tools.
And they're skills we can all develop, right?
Exactly. Maxwell emphasizes they're not innate talents, they're learned abilities.
Practice makes perfect.
That's it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about which of these thinking skills resonated with you the most.
Yeah, which one sparked that aha moment for you?
Exactly. Pick one or two and commit to practicing them in your own life.
I love that. What really stood out to me was Maxwell's emphasis on the power of our thoughts.
Yeah, it all starts there, doesn't it?
He reminds us that everything begins with a thought. Our thoughts shape our beliefs, our actions, our destiny.
If we want to change our lives, we need to start by changing our thinking.
And these 11 thinking skills we've explored today give us the tools to do just that.
That's right. A whole toolkit for success.
Maxwell leaves us with a powerful question. What kind of thoughts are shaping your life right now?
That's a good one to ponder.
So keep thinking, keep learning, and keep growing. And until next time, happy diving.